Hi, I'm Carl Anderson of Kugae Gundogs. We're back out again with Buster. Now, we showed you Buster on the last video, and he's a very energetic dog, very immature, and he's wild and everything. And the reason all this, if we go back to the root of the problem, the reason he's like this because he's kind of been rushed on a little bit too much, and the foundations weren't solid. And I'm a massive believer that the more the foundations are solid, the higher we can go. So what we've done, we've brought him in and we've kind of steadied him down now and got him to understand. So the initial problem's in the kennel. He jumps up in the kennel, he gets so excited, the kennel door opens and he runs out and no one can control him. So that's where it started. So we've gone back to there. When we open the kennel with him now, we go in and we say sit, and we might wait for 5-10 minutes. We'll sit him on his bed, we put the lead on, the tail starts wagging and he gets excited. We then, from that stage, say sit, and we wait a bit longer. We then take him out and we do some heel work. So basically we bring him in this field and we say heel. And then we turn. And we're looking for things to go wrong all the time. That time we would just turn. We would use our whistle and would say, that means the sit word. Now, the calmer we are with him, the calmer he's going to be. Now, if we take the lead off, he was prone for running away and not getting him back for 20 minutes. And if he had a dummy, it would be a little bit of a nightmare. If he saw another dog, he would run up to it. Now, we've trained him here with other dogs, and our dogs are very well trained and they're not really interested in Buster, and they'll just chill it here and watch me. So we cannot be responsible for other people's dogs. If you're out with your dog and you've got a dog like him and he's full of energy and he's immature and he wants to go and play, the only thing we can do, if we see a dog in the distance, is put him on the lead, bring him to the side, put our whistle on, have a tennis ball in a pocket and just show him that and say good morning. And if the person says, can they say hello, just say we'd rather not, he's in training, because all we're doing, we're just getting him excited. These are gun dogs, and if we're going to use them on a shoot, we've got to respect the fact they're not going to be playing with the other dogs. The idea is on a shoot is they concentrate on you, they go out, they get the game we send them for, they come straight back, they deliver it, and then they wait for the next one. Now you can actually see now how calm he is, and how focused he is. We'll put the ball away. If I start fussing him up like I did in the last video and tell him he's a good boy all the time, he just gets excited and he boils over, and then we just don't get what we want out of the training session. So we've brought him out the kennel, we've done a little bit of heel work with him, and remember, we're putting in foundations. This isn't going to happen overnight. This isn't going to happen in a month or 2 months, 3 months. There's a lot of work got to go into this dog to get him right and get them foundations in. And the older they get, the harder it gets. So it's our job to put the foundations in, get the owner involved, and let the owner do the work under our guidance. That would be the perfect scenario. And in September, we're going to have this dog in the field, on a peg, off the lead, shooting birds, and we're going to send him for selected birds. And then he'll walk to heel, off the lead, into the gun bus, probably go on the lead, and just be a nice, perfect gun dog. Now you can see he's chilled out. He's wagging his tail, he's looking at me, and he's saying, okay, what do you want me to do? Because I'm not excited and falling out with him, he's not excited. He's actually calming down. So we get the tennis ball out now, and before I start throwing it around at this stage, I'm going to put the whistle on. Then I've got the focus back on me, and he's saying to me now, he really is saying, okay, what do you want me to do? And what I want him to do is sit, and I'll go get it. But I'm going to keep half an eye on him. I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to put it out of the way. Now all he's doing is he's just having a stretch. He's crawling to me. Am I really bothered about that at this stage? No, come on, sit. He's not running off, he's not jumping up, he's not being excited. He really is now where we want him. He's doing really well. Now, When we've got a dog like this, a big question is, how often do we train it? And the answer to that is as many times a day as we can fit in, and we live busy lives. So if it's only once in the morning and once in the evening, that's all it is. If you can do it 4 times a day, that's great. You'll get better results. And if we keep it down to, get up, don't roll in that, come on. Hey, sit. See, now he's lost his concentration there a little bit. So just for a second, because he's lost his concentration, I'm just going to put his lead on. Can you see he's getting fidgy? Come here. Look. Sit. Now, this is a perfect example of probably keeping him out too long. And what he's going to do, I've got to bribe him back now. Come here. Come here. Buster, come on. Buster. So he's at the camera bag now and he's looking for something there to get. So I've got the lead on. I've brought him back without shouting and screaming at him and running after him. He came back to me, and that to me is really important. Now that brings me on to where I left off. How long do you train these dogs for? These dogs what can easily lose concentration. And it wants to be for as long as we can get out of them. And sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes it's 20 minutes. But it's not very often at the early stages any more than that. We put him back in his kennel, he digests it, and then he comes out again. Now we train these full time every day. So we've got the monopoly of saying, right, okay, he's having a good day, let's push it a little bit more. He's having a bad day, let's just take him out the minimum we've got to, but we get the best out of him. And the weather, that can be weather dependent and what's going on. But if you've only got 2 times a day, you've got to be in a realistic world and say, right, okay, I'm going to get up early in the morning and I'm going to go out late on an evening and I'm going to do my 10 to 15 minutes with him each time. And that's great. When it comes to the weekend, you can't just fit it all in and say, right, I've got 8 hours on a Saturday. You'll pickle him. You will absolutely pickle him first thing in the morning. So what you've got to say there is, right, I'm going to get up early. I'll be up at 6. We'll be out at 6:30. Put him away. We'll be out at 10 o'clock. Put him away. We'll be out at 1 o'clock. You know the time you've got and the time scale. And if it takes a few months, it's not a problem. Don't try and do it all in a weekend. You will never ever succeed. So what we're going to do now, we're going to put him back in his kennel. He's calming down a little bit now. There is absolutely no benefits in me just carrying on training him at this stage until he's had a rest, he's digested it, and we'll get more out of him, more out of him. And more importantly, Karen trains this dog as well, as does Carly, as does Saul, so we're all involved. So it's not just me controlling him, his handler, his owner, they're working with him, and he's going to be in a good place because everyone's listening to what we've found out for him to do. We understand him, he's in a good place, and we're going to take him on his journey and get him in the field in September. So keep the training short, small little gaps. If you haven't got the time, find the time. And if your life's that busy and you can't do it, then you're going to have to go to a trainer who can help you out and take you on the journey you need to be. But even so, when you get your dog back, if he's been in training residential, you've got to have time to carry on the training when it comes home. You know, just because it's been there and it's trained to a high standard, it's still got to get used to you and fit into your way of life, and the training's got to carry on. And then what happens is they bond with you and you bond with them. You understand each other. Don't we, Buster? Hey? So a common question we get asked is, how do we get our dogs to deliver, whether they're Spaniels, Labradors or everything? Now Hugo here, we can send him out for a retrieve, a good 60, 70, 80 yards, and he'll go out for it and mark retrieve, and he'll come back. But when he gets to this area, he then starts playing around. He won't come to us and he won't deliver. Now, there's lots of reasons for that, but I would think one of the reasons is when he was young, and he's not an old dog, he's only just a year old, we took the dummy off him too fast, and so now he doesn't want to give it up. So we've got to break this down into chunks. We've identified the problem. The problem isn't with the retrieve, the problem is with the delivery. So how are we going to cure that? Well, there's an easy way. We've got to get him to hold the dummy. So hold. Now we've done a bit of work with him and made him hold. But there's lots of ways you can make him hold. You can open his mouth gently and put the dummy in and say hold. I don't like doing that. It just doesn't work for me. I would rather get the dummy, throw it on the floor, say hold, hold, and then walk off. So I'm walking off with him. He's holding the dummy, and I can keep saying occasionally hold, hold. If he was to drop it, I would kick it with my foot and say hold. The idea is here to get him to hold. We then get our whistle. Come on. We're gently going to bring his head towards me, and we're going to take the dummy off him and get the focus. The next stage to be when he's understood the word hold, and this is not going to happen in 1 minute, it's not going to happen in an hour, this is going to happen over a period of time, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Nothing's in a rush with gun dog training. You go. Then we'd say hold, and then we'd use the word dead. You can use the word leave, you can use the word drop, whatever suits you in the environment you're in. I like the word dead, it just suits me, and the word we are. Hold, dead. Hold, dead. Now look how gentle I'm being with him. I'm not raising my voice, I'm just exactly the same. You know, we're going to give him fussies up because he likes a fuss up here. He's not bouncing up, so we can get away with that. Hugo, hold, heel, and then we're going to take him to heel. So we're just going to get him to carry the dummy. It's not a problem at this stage. We're going to turn round. We're going to use the whistle because we've conditioned him to sit. Again, he's messing around. We come down, we bring him in slowly, we give him a fuss, then we say dead. And that is the easiest way to get your delivery. We can also take him to a raised platform and bring him up to us, but that is just the starting point, and we might have to swap and change that a little bit. Remember, all dogs train differently. They won't all train the same. Some will sit there and deliver it, some won't, and we have to go on. We can't rush it. Now, if he's one of these dogs what is super exciting, he brings the dummy in, he drops it there, he paws it, that's more immatureness, and we've got to wait for a little bit older to get that delivery, and that's a little bit more specialist. But for a dog like him who's coming in, playing around with it, won't deliver it because we've taken it off him too early, too young, and what we should have really done was said, hold, come down to his level, let him come in like this, fuss him up, then take it off and keep fussing him up. That's a perfect scenario. But we've got the problem, and we've found a way with him to sort the problem out. We've got these two out again. We did a video the other week on these two, and they're the absolute opposites. We've got Trigger, who's very, very shy, nervous dog, but a great working dog. He likes to retrieve, and that's what he gets his comfort in. We've got Jasper, who's, oh my God, he's up there. His energy's so much. And they're so far apart, training them together is challenging. And this is where experience comes in. And we have to find common ground with them and be very, very careful how we train them. If we're too soft, Jasper gets really excited. If we're too hard, then Trigger goes into his shell. But one thing we can do is fire a starting pistol and then get him excited. Now, he's come off his thing again, so all we can really do is put him back. Now, he might just want to be a bit nearer me, but I don't want him too near me. Sit. And you can see how careful I'm being. So I'm going to fire a shot, and there we go. And that gets their attention. Now, we haven't fired the 20 bore over him just yet, but we will do in a second. So now we're going to fire a starting pistol. We're going to throw a dummy out. And he's gone into that long grass. Trigger, Trigger. So we've sent him off for that retrieve. Now he's got up. I don't want to say anything to him, just want to sit him back down. Remember, this is training, this is not the real thing. Now Trigger's come out now with a retrieve, brilliant. Come on, Trigger. We're going to stroke his chest, I'm going to take it off him. Great, now for this purpose in training, I'm just going to put him back. Sit. Now on shoot day, we wouldn't have that luxury, and that's why we're doing the training, to build him up. Now, let's see what happens when I fire a shot over him. But I'm just going to put my ear protection in for this purpose. Now they're excited, they're looking at me. And we can build this up, we can slowly build this up with dummy launchers and various other things. But for the purpose of this, all we want them to do is sit still for shot. And there we are, there we go. Now, there's a bird coming over and off we go. And then we'll go over here. Now, sit, sit. Other than the golden one standing up, that was good. That was a really good starting point. They're not bothered, they're focused on me, and they're looking for a retrieve. But we can't send them for every retrieve there is. That would be absolutely madness. If every bird what came down we sent them for a retrieve, they would just constantly start running in all the time. So this is where the practice comes into it. And what we would do with these dogs now, we'll got them in a really good place. We can now start throwing dummies, shooting at dummies, and they'll stay there solid, and we can send them out by name, as we did with Trigger. And we can tidy him up that little bit and get his confidence going. And then what we can do, we can put them on one of our simulated game days where there's peg dogs, and then we have cold game placed and we shoot at clays, and that's brilliant. That gets them ready for the season. And once these dogs get back into the field, and they've both been in the field, they're going to be solid. They're going to be sat on a peg exactly as we are now. So we're just going to have another go at that. I've just got to put my ear protection in. See, I've got their attention. There comes a bird. And again. Now again, Jasper sat there. Jasper stood up. Sit. Sit. But Trigger's laid down. Now that is a really good starting point. Now the last video you'll see, we couldn't really settle Trigger down. He was just a bit unsure, but we've worked on him behind the scenes, and a lot of this is heel work and sit and stay and going back to them, walking away, going back to them, throwing dummies around them, all that boring stuff no one wants to do. And then within a short period of time we can get them back to here. Now if we allow these dogs out their kennel and to run around with each other, or let them out the truck and run around with each other, we're just going to cause a big problem and undo everything we've done. So these two dogs, their journey is now is to be together and two become one. So basically what one does, the other one's going to do in our command. So we're going to be a team. I'm going to handle them. Well, I'm not going to handle them. Their owner's going to handle them. Hello boys. So all we're going to say is heel. Come on. Heel. Sit. 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 And that's what we want on shoot day. We want that. So Trigger, sit. Now he wants them two dummies on the floor there, but we're not going to let him have them at this stage. We're just going to let him chill out. The next stage for the journey of these now, we're going to place some dummies and replicate a shoot day and send them out for them by name and have other dogs in the area. So what we've done now, we've established we can get the two to sit on in front of us on the peg, and we can fire a shotgun, and they're not really going to run in. We've got Jasper who stands up a little bit. So now let's just go a stage further, and what we want them to do is we're going to throw a dummy, fire a shot, and the dummy's going to land behind us. So we're replicating a shoot day. So safety first, let me put my earplugs in. So earplugs in, all nice and safe, guns loaded, and we would hold the gun in a safe position. So when you're ready, let's have the first bird. So here comes one, and we back, sit, and again. Now you can see What happened there? Trigger stayed absolutely solid. Jasper tried to run in, and that's what we'd expect. He tried to move, but we sat him. So there's 2 birds behind us, but we don't want these dogs to pick these birds at this stage. They're of no interest to them, so I'm just going to put the earplugs away so I know exactly where they are. And I'm just going to pick them birds. Sit. We don't have to, when we're on a shoot, get our dogs to pick every bird we shoot. It's good training, especially early in the season, for them just to sit tight. If the bird's behind us and it's dead, there's no reason. Gun dogs are to find birds we can't find ourselves, but we've also got pickers up out there to do their job. But getting dogs to be as steady as this in the field is a dream for most people, but it's well achievable with the right training, the right equipment and the right environment. It's going to be great in September to see these dogs out doing what they do best, sitting on a peg while the shooting's going on, and then they'll go for the birds. Now, I like my dogs on shoot day to be looking at me. Some people like them at the side to be looking out. We're all different. Exactly what you want them to do. There's no given rules, and what suits some doesn't suit others. That's how I like my dogs. While they're focusing on me, it's going to stop them running in, especially when there's tons and tons of birds coming over. What they'll actually do, they will actually turn round and look where the birds are coming from, so they'll do that themselves and mark the birds. But more importantly, not every bird is for them. Now you can see Trigger now, he's just getting a little bit unsettled again. So it's time to finish his training. It's just a short session, and now we've got Jasper coming in. So we'll finish the training there, but again we'll bring them out a bit later on. We'll do some more heel work, all the boring stuff, what no one wants to do. We'll give Trigger his dummy and he can have his dummy. Sit. All the boring stuff no one wants to do, heel, getting these dogs to be absolutely perfect together, throwing dummies around them, getting absolutely solid. You can see now, look, they soon get unsettled, and if we push them on in the training that little bit more, it goes wrong, and then we get frustrated, and then that's when people say it doesn't work. It does work. It's knowing when to start the training and when to stop the training. So that's a little insight into how we get dogs to be steady to shot, and the journey will go on a lot further. We'll do another video with these dogs for the next stage where they're picking up cold game, but we just need to get them really steady, and we'll send them on to that. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe and like the video. Thanks for watching.